It's hard to believe, but September is almost here, and in this week's Fishing Tips, Paul Nelson gives a preview for the fall fishing.
This week we're going to talk about the fall cool down in the lake and what we've got to look forward to and what's going to happen in the lakes. They'll pretty much remain status quo as long as those surface temperatures stay above 70 degrees. The summer patterns will stay in effect. Anglers will be able to use spinners either on bottom bouncers or safety pin spinners or even on a bullet sinker. And pretty much the way it's been all summer, the fish are going to be up on structure, maybe off the sides of structure, but almost everything in the lake is going to be above the thermocline because there's still no oxygen below the thermocline. Once we move into the 60s, those fish are actually going to start to develop their fall patterns. The summer patterns are going to start to fall apart. It's almost like going through the 60s in the spring where those fish will school tighter. Anglers will be switching to jigs and minnows or live bait rigs. The spinner rigs won't work quite as well during that time period. Once we get into the 50s, then those fall patterns will be really established in the lakes. Actually, some lakes like Bemidji and Cass, those fish are going to move into deeper water or any lake that has a thermocline. The lakes that don't have a thermocline like Leech, Upper Red, Lake of the Woods, even Winnebagosh, those lakes, the fish actually move shallow, so we've got fish moving in two directions depending on what type of a lake it is. Once we get into the 50-degree range, then those lakes are going to actually start their fall migrations and set up for where they're going to be in the wintertime. Any lake that has a big river system like the Rainy River, Winnipeg River, Red River of the North, those will have a migration of larger walleyes into them because the shiner minnows actually move into those rivers. So once we get into the 40-degree range, then the cold water period is starting, and once those lakes hit 40 degrees, they're ready to freeze. And it's a good thing that water is most dense at 40 degrees because otherwise the lakes would actually freeze from the bottom if they continued to cool down to 32 degrees. So once it hits 40 degrees, that cooler water floats on the surface and actually turns into ice. So this has been the fishing tip of the week. That's what we got to look forward to the rest of the fall, and this is Paul Nelson from the Bemidji Area Lakes Guide Service.
Thanks, Paul and Dennis. We got one more fishing tip with Paul next week.
The lakes would freeze from the bottom up. We'd never get out there.
Oh, we'd never get out there. I don't think so.
And again, some of the winters we've had, we might.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Josh.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.